Okay. Good evening to each and everyone, and thank you, Sharmila, and thank you, Bhaskar sir, for inviting me and for giving such a beautiful platform to talk to youngsters. And I personally, though I'm totally involved in corporate management stuff, where we are involved in marketing, IT, but training is always a kind of passionate. It comes from heart because. What chose this topic was that today you are talking about my success. People are celebrating it. So many are getting motivated, inspired. But there was a once upon a time where I was a failed startup because I never knew what was that particular strategy or a procedure that has to be followed. Because like I say today, entrepreneurship was my call. I didn't choose it. It eventually came to me. So at the beginning I never knew what is happening with this. I was a kind of good professional. Maybe I could relate myself as a good professional, but an entrepreneur, no. So eventually, like the entrepreneurship taught me a lot of stuff. So whenever somebody calls me for a talk or a mentoring process for a startup, I am always happy. In spite of the busy schedules and whatever the meetings, however it is, I try to make it up for the fact that entrepreneurs are an asset to the society, and mentoring them, coaching them, something is a very essential thing, because it's not an easy task. It is not an easy journey. Everyone out here, including Sharmila, knows it. To run a startup or to operate a company is not an easy task. It is, I would say that it is a bed of thorns. So you should be aware of what you are choosing, what is where you are entering in, and you need to be cautious. You need to be careful, because or else your startup will be ending up in a great disaster. So from my experience, whatever I know, I would like to share with you all. Yeah, and let's start. Okay. Now, before I begin, I would like to just give an though everyone has given an introduction of who I am. I would just take a minute's time to just share like what our company is into. I'm the founder and CEO of the company called Uria. Uria has got two wings. One is Orient Soul, which is into creative activities like interiors and stuff. Other is our corp wing, where we are into marketing, in which we do branding, strategic marketing, digital marketing, as well as we have an IT wing, which is into web development and IT services, other functionalities, functional IT services. Then we have also got an HR and training wing, wherein we train people for the industry, because since we are doing it, it is kind of like, we actually bring in experts from the industry, and we do train them with these aspects. So that's about a company. I'm also the co-founder of a managed cloud hosting system called Flexi Cloud, where I'm the where I'm the director marketing and the CMO. I'm also the chief operating officer of an IT consulting firm called Digitalize. So that's about me and my companies. Since I have managed to start what is it, as we call you, run and operate three different startups, which are into three different verticals. From my experience, I would begin to um, my session on what a startup is. So the content, the index and the content of the today's session would be about, I just gave an introduction of what about me and my startup. Then I would be giving an overview of what a startup is. Then basically, you should understand what is the difference of a startup from a traditional business, like what is the difference between an entrepreneur and a business person. Then the challenges that a startup has to face, then the initial preparation or the know-how or awareness you have to have before you start a startup. So these are the topics we'll be covering. Now to begin with, yeah, that was about my companies. Now I'll begin with what a startup is. As all of you all know, startup is a new business with an innovative idea. You should have a concept or a different idea, something which can contribute towards a society or something which can bring in revenue. So that either can be a product or maybe a service. Both these two verticals can help you to make a startup. So, as per business schools like Stanford, they define startup as a temporary organization designed to look um, for a scalable business. Now, how the startup is different from a traditional business. So, in case of traditional business, it's not basically it works on an idea. It might be something that is passed on by a family tradition, or maybe people who have already worked upon it. They already know what the pattern is. But startup is quite different because it starts with an experiment, or maybe from the experience which we have got from the people who have already started before us, and it is mainly technologically oriented, and the fund we raise or the revenue we generate, it basically comes from different kind of sources, like, either you can take a investor, you can take a venture capitalist, you can ask your friends, your family, or you can be a bootstrapped startup, like, your own investment. So it's not like it doesn't operate like a traditional business stuff. And as you all know, the traditional business, the scope of this particular traditional business, it has a general pattern. It doesn't have a exponential growth, or but in case of a startup, or maybe it is a constant process, where it generates this much revenue for this year, and then the next year. But in case of startup, it can take different shapes. It can take what do you call different forms. The ideas can be actually made into some maybe it is a small idea, but later on, when you get into it, you go into detail or depth of it, some other ideas may come up to it, add on to it, and eventually you will get to see a lot of things, and then you will have a stronger and a firmer and a very firm idea of what you are into it. And from there, more and more innovation takes place. So the thing is that it gives you an opportunity of exponential growth. And again, traditional business is basically time constrained and it's strict. But if you see a lot of startups, you can see how eventually they've grown within a year, within months, how they have scaled up their business, their growth in terms of revenue and in terms of organizational aspect. And in case of startup, there is no particular rule as such. It depends upon the founder, the co-founder, the team, maybe even the product or the service, or what it is into, the targeted audience. It's quite subjective. So you can't say that somebody followed this thing, okay, you will follow this thing. Nothing like that. You can actually have the essence of everything, and then collecting every stuff, you can actually build something of your own. For example, if you take I'll just tell you an analogy of it. If you take A.R. Rahman's songs, the versatility you find in it, it is because, say, the bass music or everything is that some people just tell that these are copied. No, never. He is just taking the essence of certain things and he's adding his essence or his contribution towards us, which makes the song, which makes A.R. Rahman's songs exceptionally, what do you call, nothing can be compared to it. So that is how, like I said, you can take the essence of people who have started before it, or the vertical or the domain you are into. For example, if it is a marketing company, you can take some kind of guidelines from those companies, but need not that you have to completely blindly follow it. It's like, because your service is different, the idea you have, it's quite different from that of theirs. So only what do you call, the main essence you can take from them, The rest of the things, you have to hunt it, you have to figure it out, you have to go in depth, you have to read journals, blogs, whatever idea, and from wherever you can collect it. The more you collect it, the more you have knowledge over it, and that helps you to build a successful startup. Now, like I said, the challenges, first of all, let me tell you a very important information, that is, if you, it is not that if you have a great idea, you will become a successful startup. It's totally wrong. I started my startup in 2013. Trust me, after a year, it was a total disaster, because I thought that, I was a good professional, had good ideas. I had very great concept. So I thought, I would boom. But again, what the failure taught me was that the first message which I would like to convey every single person who's eager to know about the details of startup is that if you have a concept, it does not mean that you will succeed. That is a wrong notion. You have a good idea, definitely the possibility or the opportunity to grow up is great. The probability is great, but it doesn't make you completely safe that you will become successful. So the first rule is that. Second rule is network definitely helps you to bring your business up, because you have people, your mentors, your friends, your relatives, your acquaintance, everything will help you. But trust me, 2000, for a while I couldn't I couldn't be there in I mean the system, because I went back to I went back abroad, and then when I came back again 2016, I eventually relaunched the same firm. This time I was having a lot of expertise from marketing field, network, and I was sure this time I'm going to do it great, because I've got network. The second thing that taught me was that even after having a good network and having a thorough confidence, okay, I can do it, but there were certain aspects which I didn't keep in account. So again, I'm telling you, even having a good network, it definitely helps you for sure. An idea and a good network definitely helps you, but it doesn't mean that if you have both, you're going to succeed. So what is that particular thing which, see, there are a lot of challenges, but I would just like to start up with the point what I'm going to get in, rather than telling them and illustrate, narrating the entire, theoretical part. I would like to go in a structured way, so that you can understand what actually we are talking about. So the third thing and the main thing which I understood and which made me successful is that the magic rule, the implementation. How do you implement your idea with the help of your network, with the resources you have, with the teams you have, with your co-founders, with the system you have created? It's all about the total ingredients, or the portion, or the magic portion which you create with all of the us, with the main ingredient called the implementation. So a startup can work only if your implementation, the right time, the right people, the right target. You should have a thorough understanding of all of this, and then you have to shoot. For example, I'll tell you the story of, I can take a quote from Mahabharata, where Drona asked every disciple to actually aim the bird. Okay, so every time he shoots a question that, what do you see? So the answer the disciples give is that, I see the sky, I see the big huge tree. Some say that, yeah, I could see the green bird out there. But it was only Arjuna who said that, I can see the bird's eye. So that means the focus matters. See, it is not that you just beat around the bush. No, you should be precise, and your focus should be very much thorough. The moment you understand that what you are aiming, what you are doing, your implementation would be perfect. So telling all these parts, let's come to in depth and in detail of what I was speaking about. So the usual challenges faced by every startup is finance, because you have an idea, Again, like I said, I was talking about implementation. How do you implement it? Of course, to implement it, you need finance, you need fund, you need people, you need resources, you need marketing. Everything needs basically what is called the money. So where do you bring this money from? Either you can be a bootstrap company where you actually create money for yourself for this particular, you have been working for it, or you have been earning for it to create this thing. You can work like a bootstrap. Mine is a totally bootstrapped company where everything spent on my company was my own revenue that is being generated. Even the money we generate from our system, that is being put into new ventures. That is how we expanded. But we never had an investor. But now when it comes to scaling up, I'm definitely thinking of an investment or a funding, because the thing is that we have grown. So next level is to expand on a very huge platform. We definitely need it. Either you can take this path, or you can initially take an investor. That depends upon surely what is your products, what is your service, what actually you're aiming, how strong your financial aspect is. There are a hell lot of factors. Now, the other one is building rapport. That means your network, how you can build your credentials. How can people trust you? How do you connect with a person? Okay, I'm doing this. Would you help me out with this? What about your mentors, the people who can advise you, your acquaintances? There are a lot of factors. So how do you build it? That is a big challenge. Okay. Because the most important thing, from where do you start? So these are some of the challenges which usually a startup face. And then again, already these kind of services may be there before. So how do you have a lot of competitors there. So you have to do a SWOT analysis. Why is that people need to take your product or your service? So again, you have to get a hold in the industry, in the market. Then you create everything, somebody hacks your thing. So your web hosting partner or the people who maintain your website, they should be actually keeping your website secure, so that your information or data, the world is this world is today, in today's world, data or information is very, very important. So, and then the next part, the partnership decision making. See, at a point of time, I realized the importance of having the right partners. To be very honest, today my success, if somebody asks me what are the ingredients or the key strength where I became successful, if asked to me, I would say that definitely it is always my partners, because the support they give me, the right understanding we have with each other. My partners, Vinod Chakwa and Naman Modi, they perfectly handle my IT so well that I never have a question of my anything going lapse in my cybersecurity stuff. My website, it's totally safe. Nothing is going to happen to it, because as long as my IT people are strong, and anything I demand on a digital stuff, they are ready. They are ready with it. I just need to give a concept. I am very good with my I am good in the sense, people say that I'm very good with my marketing skills or my conceptualization skills or my ideation skills or my creative skills. So the thing which I lacked was that IT support. Today, my people give that strong support, the right partnership or the right team. When it blended, everything everything fall in the right place. So I would say that when you have the right team, the confidence or the strength the startup has is too immense, and the power generating out of it is also very high. Then the resources, like I say, the strength of me is my pack or my team, and the strength of my pack is me. That is a blend which I have with my employees or my HR. If they had not been there, trust me, I would not have been taken this much, because it is all about team. Together, everyone achieves more. So that means if one person is not contributing towards the system of what they're supposed to do, if it is not coming in the right way, you fail. So I had employees before. See, everyone were good, but the thing is that the contribution what they can do, or the skill or the talent they have, how much they contribute towards the system. That actually matters. So your employees or the people who you work with, your team actually matters a lot. So this is a big challenge which every startup has to face when they look upon to create the right team. Now the biggest thing, the extensive competition, because already you have people, the key players, the game players in the market. How do you cross them? That's not a easy task. Trust me, you have to toil day and night to figure it out, what makes your product or service different, innovative. Why should people choose you? Why should they come to you? That particular question, why? There is no what. In an entrepreneur's life, never comes a what. It's always why. You have an answer for a why. That particular problem is your solution. We are problem solvers. So once, and actually there should be a problem, because whenever there is a problem, an entrepreneur is created, because an innovation is created through him. Once an innovation is made, eventually an entrepreneur is created. So but these are the challenges you have to face. Once you identify these challenges, figure it out, okay, these are the challenges I have to face, go for it, find out a solution for it, then you are going to create a very, very strong startup. Now, next I'll be speaking about is the necessity and the checklist. So those are the we were talking about. Now we were see, we initially defined how a startup is different from a traditional business. So you have an understanding of exactly how a startup works, different from a traditional business. Then we were speaking about the challenges a budding entrepreneur has to face. Now we will be talking about how are we going to create a startup, like basic stuffs we need to we need to figure it out while planning to create a startup. So the first thing what we have to have is an ideation. I mean, idea, a concept. Now, is it, like I said, having a concept doesn't work. So now you have to create a thorough business plan for this. How does your business go? How does this business of yours is going to work with the idea you have conceived, with the idea you have created? How do you put it in paper? How do you make a draft out of it, document it out of it, then figure it out what are the requirements you require, then what are the other aspects, infrastructure aspect, financial aspect, then the HR, the team, who are the teams, who should be the co-founder, who should be the chief technical officer, who should be the marketing person. You have to define all these roles of the people in your team and how each people are contributing towards the system. So there are a lot of aspects which you have to have a complete, thorough, structured system before you actually get into a startup. So you have to work on this first, make a structured map, and then you start. Then your probability of getting failure will be very, very less. I didn't do it, so I failed twice. But the third time, my do nots taught me, okay, I should not do it. So the third time I understood that was my last lifeline. So like I said, I had no choice other than being a successful. So every time we are climbing again and again new ladders, okay, every obstacle come, I just tell my team, no worries, it's okay, let the obstacle come, because that adds a new innovation to the system. Now, like I said, the first thing we have to have an idea of how our idea can be turned into business. Because an entrepreneurship, if you define entrepreneurship, any idea that turns to a revenue generation is basically called entrepreneurship stuff. So now how do we convert that into business? Next, who are your targeted audience? What is your niche market? Where exactly you're going to pitch it? Who exactly are your audience? Which age group they belong to? Are you looking for an edtech education thing? Are you looking for a marketing product? Are you looking for an IT product? So you have to have a thorough idea of what this product is and how it is going to give a solution to the people who you are going to pitch, the targeted audience. Now, Then you have to start planning. Again, with planning, it comes marketing, branding, pitching the service, positioning your thing, a financial building it setup, and an n number of things that comes along with it. Okay, now the first step, like I said, the first aspect, the planning aspect, you have to generate a business plan, and you have to register your company. So for that, you have to name your business. You have to give a name for it. And again, while people don't understand, some people give a name to it. Later on, you can't change it because your company is already registered in that name. So you have to, and even when you take a domain, when you take a website, everything, there might be other company in that name. So you have to compromise on these stuff. So you have to think of an n number of aspect even while you make a name. It should be catchy. It should attract people. It should have a message of what exactly you are into. So there are a lot of things which should be kept in consideration while you choose the name of your business. Then find your supplies. Estimate how much would be your startup cost, how much you have to initially invest it. Can you make it? If you cannot make it, from where do you get it? There are, either you can go for, like I said, you can go for friends, you can go for families, you can go for your investors, angel investors. There are people who will invest on you if your idea, you can go, they create a pitching platform for you. There are areas, there are government agencies, there are different type of platforms where angel investors come in. If they find that your idea is suitable, good, worthwhile, if implemented, will become productive, the angel investors invest on you. There are venture capitalists who are ready to do it if your idea is strong and if they feel that implementation wise this would become a success. Again, like I said, the catchy word, implementation. Everything matters on that implementation stuff. So now if you have a product, what will be the manufacturing cost? The initial startup cost is for the infrastructure, to build an office, to pay your employees, to build the basic services, a website, a lot of accessories along with it, the branding, the marketing. These are for the estimated costs. Now, how do you make the money for them? If it is a product, the manufacturing cost. Even if it is a service, there are a number of stuffs you have to look upon. How you place the service into the market, how you position it, how do you track it once you get your people, how does the transaction takes place? Again, an end number of steps. So planning, you have to plan, make a thorough plan where you understand where exactly you are going to. And one more thing, when you make a plan, you know what is happening. You come back, while you implement these stuff, you come back, you have a checklist. You're understanding, are you going on a right path? Because your path is being measured or being tracked. Like I said, I didn't do it initially. I thought an idea is enough. Okay, fine. Good network, go ask people, everything will be fine. No, nobody is going to buy your stuff, even your friends, family. No, it's never going to happen unless the product or the service you create is worthwhile. It is innovative. Fine, people are interested in it, attracted by it. Okay, so the first thing, planning is done. Yeah. Now, in planning itself, again, you have to find the niche market, your competitors. So when you do the competitive analysis, what happens is that, you will do a SWOT analysis. I suppose you all know SWOT analysis means strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. So basically, you understand what are the strength of your competitor. So then, see, we have our own strength that we'll analyze it first. Then we go for the competitor's strength. So whatever we can implement or we can take from them, that is added on, we become more strong. Now, the important part is that we have to analyze our weakness, not their weakness. Their weakness is good if you analyze, you know why? If they have that weakness, we have an opportunity there. That opportunity, we make it as a threat to them. Again, we come into the market. Then the niche market is ours. So that means you have to do a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is very important. Again, doing the SWOT analysis, again, you have to set your goal, not a dream. See, dreams are good. Dreams are good. The aspirations are good. The hopes are good. But reality, again, implementation. Is it possible? So anything that can be possible in reality to make your home. See, a startup can be successful when the reality and the dreams come to a balanced state. You should have dreams, you should have aspirations, you should be ambitious. Otherwise, you cannot climb the ladder. But again, once a balance of the reality comes with the dreams, these two blend, the perfect startup is created. And the fact is that there is a never an ideal thing called perfection. There is no perfect startup, but a likely to be, near to be a perfect startup. That's what we call. That's how people. And there is no thumb rule that, even if you fail, it doesn't mean that the same business plan which you have created. See, for example, my company, the same business plan, third time it worked, but again I had to reiterate it again and again to find it out where I lost, what did I lack, the do nots, the do nots what I understood, which should not be repeated again. So the business plan will work, but you should not lose hope. You should actually work on it. You should, like Dr. APJ said, dream is not that what you see in your sleep. It is what you it is what for you actually live for it. You eat it, drink it, live it, and you work for it so much that it comes to you. I'm a very great fan of Paulo Coelho. Trust me, I reach where I reach because I believe that you have an intense crave. The entire universe conspires you to get it. Trust me, my dream was so strong, so intense. Twice I failed. My financial loss was more than 50 lakh rupees. 2 times. Even you have to understand that mine was a bootstrap company, no investment. But I figured it out. How do I do it? Strategize it. That is the reason why this particular skill of mine, that was actually a problem. You know what? I converted my problem into a solution where today I'm known as a strategist, a strategic consultant. People come to me to find out strategies. My flaw was converted into my power. And that made me a strong startup. So, like I said, whatever your flaw, work on it, get it done. And again, you have to have a pricing. If yours is a service or a product, you actually should have an idea of how much you're going to sell it, because you will be incurring a cost to make it. So you have to understand the profit thing. You think that, okay, this will work, everything is done, okay, last minute I'll go for a put a price, okay, X this thing. No, it doesn't work like that. This I have done it before, but the first time I did it, that actually created me a big loss. So today, any venture I step in, I figure it out, everything, including the end product. Even I perceive what is the worst case, so that even the worst case comes, we are prepared to face it. Okay. The first thing is over. We have created here when I've spoken, I told you about the business plan. Here we are creating an infrastructure. We are understanding who our targets are, who our competitors are. We are actually creating a structure. The business plan is initially the structure. We have created everything. The thing is there. Now we have registered a company. I forgot to mention one more thing. The company can be registered as a sole proprietor. It can be taken for you can go for a partnership company, 2 people. And the third thing is basically you can go for a private limited company, or you can go for an LLC, limited liability company. So these are the 4 ways by which a startup can be registered. Okay, and then once the registration is done, you have your infrastructure. You figure it off. Maybe you can take an incubation under somebody. You can take an incubation thing, or you can actually go for an office. Just get a building, anything, a room, whatever. So now we have the infrastructure. So now what do we do with this? We have created this thing. Now we have to make this particular thing reach to our people. Okay, then only people come to know. Nobody will come to us asking, oh, you created this, I want to buy it. No, it doesn't work like that. It is a reverse. You have to find where the people are. You have to figure it out to your targeted audience and then target them. Like I said, hit the eye. Because if you target the eye only, the bow will go, it'll hit. The probability of getting hit is more. It is not that again, one more thing is that need not that it'll hit, but at least somewhere it'll go. So Now, what is the difference between a product and a brand? A product is something which actually has everything is same with but brand has got a unique identification. If you take Apple or Samsung, any brand, we don't sell it. Actually, the brand sells. So we have to create the product in such a way that people notices this. Your visibility becomes high when you create it as a brand. A brand is not created only because you throw a lot of money on it. No, it is your creative part, your lot of aspects are there. So the starting of branding would be like, you are displaying your company with a logo. The first is the logo part. Again, you create a color palette for it. If you check my website, or if you check my logo, you'll understand the color which we have chosen. A color palette is black and golden, because I consider mine is a corporate management consultancy, and we want everything to be classy. And for me, black and golden is a perfect combination of classy. So that is how I have chosen it. Now, create a tagline. You should have a tagline of a company, or for the company for which you are putting, what it is, the message you're conveying of what we are doing. I had a lot of confusion because my vertical were like different. In my business plan, I was initially pitching with marketing, IT, HR, and training. What is the tagline which I would use? After so much of refining, I found that what is it? Designing your reality, designing your vision into reality. Any vertical I take, the tagline goes with everything, because anybody has a vision. I am converting that into reality, be it HR, be it IT, be it marketing, be it anything. So that is a tag. You have to use an app tagline where your business, where what you do is being conveyed. Then you should create business collateral. So this is a brand identity we create. The first one is a brand identity. In brand identity, you have to do a bit of research of how you create a brand. You should have a brand strategy. You should have a brand concept, brand identity, where you create a logo, color palette, tagline, typography, the way in which you write it, everything matters. So your brand identity is done. Then you go for brand collaterals, where you create business cards, letter pads, envelopes, merchandise, everything comes under which represents you whenever you go somewhere, your identity along with your brand is being displayed through these business collaterals or the brand collaterals. Now you create all these branding collaterals. You create something collaterals through which people know you. Okay, you are connected to this company. This is your company.